All right. Should have data now. Beautiful. All right. Right. We should be set here. Both chats are up. All right. Waiting for the boys to pull up. Once the boys pull up, we're going to do things. All right. Valentine. We're starting at the essence page. Yeah, let me click on back to the currency. Good evening, Valentine. All right. I need my notifications. It's 10 a.m. here. Good morning. Ego parties. Good morning. Good evening. Morning, evening, lads. Plan for today: bootcraft, then speedruns. Shit is not selling, boys. Shit is not selling. I can't believe this hasn't sold since I made it 44 hours ago. Look at this. Look at this. Fucking siren scales. Let's go 31. Oh, that's one of you people. That's funny. Somebody actually undercut me less than an hour ago. That is definitely a viewer. I recognize that name. That's one of the viewers. I see why that's not selling. It's actually been made. All T1s, yeah. Well, I guess we have to undercut him too. You're up after all. Good morning / evening, Morquets. I am definitely up. I am absolutely up. We still gotta do stuff. I promised the boot video. Omen prices continue to go down. Omen prices are going down. Oh, what? Lights are not down. These are not down. Whittles are down. That's nice. These are not down. These are... No, they're the same. Let's see if anoles are any different. These are the same. Actually, maybe they're a little bit down. What about these? These are definitely down. Okay, so some of the omens. Yeah. Good shit. I mean, I wouldn't recommend crafting with prefix omens anyway. Them shits are way too expensive for something that a freaking whittle and a runic ward essence does. It's just a random targeted prefix annul. It's the same, and then a reslam, same thing as just a whittle with a runic ward because it's sighted on level 25. So surely we don't have mods that are lower than 25. There's definitely creative solutions for all this. and haven't managed to sell the body armor. There's one guy look at it and he said, "Fuck this," and then he pieced, and that's it. Nothing since. I reinvested some money. We're down from like the 4.3 that we had the other night, but like I got a couple. Like I got these gloves. I got these gloves. Get some of these. Like surely this is worth something. One of these sells. We have a temporalis, but it's kind of a moot point. There's really no point in temporalis at this point. Surely, yeah. Well, someone, one of the viewers undercut us. Can you turn up your volume? I can't really hear you. Let me see. I probably just need to sit closer to the mic, to be honest with you. I could turn up some gain. Let's see if this is any better. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. See if you could hear that better. I mean, some of it I might just be quiet tonight. I'm not like losing my mind and going crazy. You play PoE 1 too? I do play PoE 1, I just don't want to. I have you all the way up. Little best, but still quiet. Okay. I mean, I could set a gain. This thing is redlining for me, my brother. Are you sure it's me and not you? Like, my volume is minus 5 decibels. It's redlining on every word. I just making sure. Little better. You're just not as loud as you were in the previous stream, but I can hear you. Well, we'll see. If I need to mess with the settings a little bit, we'll see. You're quite loud today. I will kill all of you. Which one of you is trolling? Oh my god. The never-ending problems of a new streamer. Am I too quiet? Am I too loud? Is it just the music is louder than normal? It's better now. Can you please stop shouting at us? No. I am now your drill sergeant. You better get back in the mines and start speedrunning before I smack you. It's better now. Very nice. Yeah, I don't... PoE 1, we did the poll. You're actually on par with YouTube for me. Very nice. So, I did the poll in Discord. By the way, if you haven't voted, you need to go vote. I have 31 votes for PoE 1 content, 20 votes for speedrunning, and 8 for taking a break. There's 600 members in Discord, and like 50 people voted. I mean, I guess that's life. Only like 40 people watch the stream, or 50 people watch the stream anyway, so I guess that's like everybody that watches the stream voted. So that's fair. That's... You participate, your vote counts. So I'm gonna have to play PoE 1. I don't want to play PoE 1, but I think I'm gonna have to play PoE 1. The 8 that voted for take a break and the 5 that voted for stalling were actually wanting speedrunning content. The speedrunning button is literally in between those two. Are you saying they were drunk? In what channel is the poll and announcements? Leaning towards RF, Warb, or Peaconk? I would have started Warb, but like 9 streamers are starting Warb or something, so I'm just gonna fucking do Lightning Arrow Tornado Shot. It's comfy, it's brain off, it's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hour chill ass campaign time. I don't have to try. In what channel is the poll speedrunning exactly that would put it into full PoE content? I mean, it's... Fub is going Warb, so it's cooked. KF also looks cool, or EK. Well, KF is readjusted. I think Cotter made a video on KF, so you don't have to do the weird less duration bullshit on it anymore. So you can play it like a regular tree, which is what the players that were good at the game weren't doing the weird less duration shit anymore. They just picked up attack speed on various sources. On wands, they would pick it up on tree, they would pick up attack speed on gloves, like, and then at that point you didn't have to, like, you could balance the cast speed for, or the attack time for the machine gun effect. So now it's just easier and it's more brain dead. It's a little bit less damage. It's maybe like 10% less damage. Now, because you just compensate. They nerfed it by 50, but we find another 30, 40. So KF is like completely fine. I think KF is reasonably playable. I'm pretty new to PoE 1, so might just say RF only did end game once a while ago. Yeah. Well, I'm talking about KF, which is Kinetic Fusillade Totems on Hierophant. So KF was a consideration. Unfortunately, they killed my boy KB clustering. Elihit got nerfed, but I don't think it's significant. But also Elihit is annoying to play and annoying to scale. I hate playing Elihit. Like, once I get to a point where Lightning Arrow and the Lightning Ballista thing doesn't work, then I just respec Crit and Tornado Shot, and it's fine from that point. The last time I played was Freesia 1. I played for a week at most. I have no idea what to play on League Start. You could just pick a popular thing. You could play Winter Orb. Everyone's gonna play Winter Orb. It's gonna be fine. I mean, maybe it's not gonna be fine. Uniques are gonna be expensive. I mean, like, if you're not Omega Blasting, PoE 1 has a wide variety of builds, but it does actually have a challenging end game. Like, red maps are actually challenging in PoE 1. You can't just walk into it with some bullshit like PoE 2 and then expect to be okay. So you might just have to farm yellow maps for a while. But, like, going Lightning Arrow and doing Legion Dunes is just so, like, easy money. Just easy money. I might pull a POHX and just RF. Yeah, I mean, RF's been good for like a decade. I don't think RF was ever truly bad. I think RF was always good. I think this is a bit of an embarrassing question. I went balls deep on an elemental bowcraft. I'm like 2k divs into it and I've drained my currency. I don't see a question in there. That's a statement, sir, and that sounds par for the course. Yodo just joined the stream. Anything still worth profit crafting in PoE 2 this late into the league? It's hard to say, sir. I haven't done any research for a couple of days. I'm winding down because, like, I made some really nice stuff, and the really nice stuff is not really selling. So it's like, I think we're down to like 10% on Steam charts, so it actually is just time to call it end league. I mean, you could, if you do profit craft stuff, I would just do cheap things, like either pick up like Z's secured wraps and runeforge them and throw some bullshit on them for like cheap Deadeye and Twister players, or where did I put? Somewhere in here. I'm gonna find it. Somewhere in here I have things that I need to craft on. Not there, not there, not there. This is leftovers from our Gamba. Surely I would have put it here somewhere. Anyway, cryptic leggings. You do cryptic leggings the same way I did my boot video. And it should turn out cheap, and they get bought. Like, you buy them for like 2 divs, you slam them with organelles for like 2 things. I actually don't understand why no one buys my gloves, because there's like a total of 3 players left, sir. There's not that many players left. Like, there are enough players to sell some stuff. It's spotty. It's really hard to determine things because it's just the population's kind of down. At this point, I have like 400 div, probably another 400 plus in gear. Is it enough to learn how to craft better for the next decon reset, or should I save a bit more? That's a loaded question, sir. It's really hard to... It's really hard to gauge, like, if 400 divs is enough. It depends on what you want to target for better crafting. You might have to, like, look at Because, like, early league crafting is just going to be finding blue bases and slamming them with rarity essence and regals, and, like, it's not going to be... I think it's a skill you might want to pick up from, like, a video. Or just playing next league, because anything you learn right now, it's not going to be... It's not going to be relevant later. Like, it's not going to be relevant in that league until a long time from now. Does it cost at least 150 div? These are monk gloves with flat, arcane surge, double gain, triple gain. I don't think we care about the gold gloves. 2 sockets are fine. We don't care about any of that. Oh, you put a jewel socket on it. People are too stupid for a jewel socket, sir. No, I mean it's worth more than 150 div. It's just no one's gonna buy it because like the monk players have left, unfortunately. Because you could see I found a comp to yours that's listed for 480 for 2 hours. That's probably the only comp that exists for it with Arcane Surge. Like, these are fine monk gloves. There's nothing wrong with these. I was selling these for 400 divs for like the entirety of the whole league, these types of gloves. Now, you just put a socket on it for a jewel, and that's even technically better. But, you know, you just don't have an audience. I mean, I wouldn't have put the jewel socket in. I would have let the buyer decide on the jewel socket. Making stuff tailored to niche random experimental builds that find popularity as they come up still works pretty well, but you got to pay attention to what builds gather following. Yeah. And catch it early enough before it's broken. For reference, I'm really new to PoE, just wanted to learn more about how to chaos and use more advanced crafting tech / currency. I think videos are your best friend there. I like just look at the methods that I've released for the various item pieces. I don't think I think the video you really need to watch, specifically you, is going to be the one that says don't craft attack weapons. I did not exactly put a socket. These were my gloves, and I used a jewel, crafted a much better version, 410 div only. Hard guess, sir. I mean, I don't... If Explode is available, I refuse to play without Explode, so... Like... Those gloves don't do anything for me. They don't do anything for, like, people following a lot of Corbin stuff. Because we are big Explode believers. It just feels so nice. Obviously, you're playing a different build, so don't matter for you. But, like, a lot of monks are going to be playing the power charge gloves. Right now, I shot this league, and it's been hard to upgrade my bow. Yes, there's definitely... upgrading bow is probably one of the hardest things. I have a suffix blocker desecrated and crit chance fractured. Too much text, my bad. No, I'm just saying, Bulldog, I didn't see a question there. You said you had a question, I didn't see a question. Only thing selling for me is Sanctum stuff, Strangely Relics, and Shitty Against the Darkness. Crafter gear staying stale, yeah. I need Divines, so I guess just selling it under the market is the only option. I mean, somebody will probably buy it under the market. Don't necessarily... You know, we're gonna make some boots. We'll throw away some money. I don't think these boots are gonna sell for anything, but we're gonna just like get you guys a video. We're gonna make something like this. Just got 36 on the res, 15 on the rarity. Craft and modifiers don't matter. Corruption doesn't matter. So they're like 400. They might still be selling. So what we're looking to do there is just get any good any good suffix. We're looking either skill effect duration or charges non-consume with a decent prefix on an ogonal, and then we're gonna fracture it, and then depending on what the fracture hits, it's gonna tell us what to do next. But generally speaking, we want the fracture tin on the suffix, because if whether it hits rarity or whatever we fractured, we can just roll skill effect duration on it, slam the other thing, and then fix prefixes afterwards. Fixing prefixes is super simple in boots. It's just a straightforward step process. Just takes some money. Would this apply to hybrid boots too? Sometimes hybrid boots have a different modifier weight and a different modifier pool, so and there's different modifier eye levels, so I would be careful. Been ages since I last properly learned a PoE fight. I need a guide for that Yama fight. Usually just brute force it, but now that I want to do it fast, what's even going on there? You show up, you lay like 8 grenades at his feet, and then he explodes. That's how you do that fight. That's all the tech you need to know. Just grenade him to death very fast. What resolution do you stream at? The black bars make it really hard to see what is happening because everything is so small. Are you on mobile or something? Because I am streaming on an ultra wide, but usually everybody's devices and monitors resize it automatically. What's this nice looking app for price checking? That is PoE 2 overlay. Or rather PoE overlay 2. All right, so let's become a website streamer once again. We're gonna do boots where we're gonna get this done because speedruns are also on the menu. I want to get to the speedruns, lads. So we'll get through the website, we'll craft our boots, we'll run Act 1, and then we'll yap for a little bit, and that's the plan for today. That's gonna be the last PoE 2 video. It's gonna be this boot one, what we do today with the boots, and we're gonna be transitioning into PoE 1 content very likely. I'm gonna let the poll sit for probably another day, so unless speedrunning outweighs it, then we'll stay with speedrunning. But I mean, a month of speedrunning is just it's too long. There's not enough content there to like, it's not enough variety to entertain people with it. So it'll probably be some PoE 1 stuff. I don't know if I'll do YouTube on PoE 1 stuff. I will likely not do YouTube on PoE 1 stuff. It'll just be chilling and having like, we'll treat PoE 1 as variety content. Like if you guys pick stuff up, you pick stuff up. If you're just here to hang out, by all means, you're welcome to be around. Why not a month of just straight yapping? Well, we could do a month of straight yapping. No matter on what device I watch your stream, it always has black strips on bottom up at Twitch and no strips at YouTube. Interesting. So if I pull up my own stream, I just want to see what the deal is, and I pull it up on the non-ultra wide monitor. It's got the black stripes, so I probably have to fuck with Twitch settings. I think YouTube automatically resizes it properly, but I think Twitch is having a whole problem with it. I think Twitch is cooked with that. YouTube does resize it properly. It says the quality is poor though. I wonder why the quality is poor on YouTube. Twitch has a set aspect ratio. Well, I mean, so our options are for this. All we have are bad options for that, because I could crop out the sides of the game. You guys won't be able to see the stash fully and the inventory fully. I could resize the game to a smaller monitor and have black bars in my game and hate my life because I actually want the side view. Like I want to play it on an ultra wide. I went for an ultra wide like 8 years ago or something, and I've been on ultra wide forever. Or I could just play the game on the other monitor and change the whole setup, which is then again hating my life. So you either have a streamer that hates his life or you see black bars. It's really one or the other. It's not like you're doing stuff where I need to see every pixel. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is like... I think most of what you guys are here for is not really the content on the screen. That's like sometimes entertaining, but I think for the most part, it's like the knowledge that we pick up and some of the hanging out, the conversations, the chilling, and then sometimes just background noise. Do you have a choice? If so, I may need to think on that one. Listen, if you can come up with a good solution, I'm open to solutions, sir. Like, if you have a way of keeping me on an ultra wide and it having a better image for you, I'm all for it. Like, you tell me what to do. I sat with ChatGPT for 6 hours trying to figure this shit out, and there are no good solutions. Talked to like 8 different people. I probably spent 24 hours on trying to figure out how to stream to you guys and not hate my life on a regular monitor. It just comes down to either you guys see black bars or I don't get to play the game the way I want to play it. Those are really the choices. I've got no solution. Sorry, just say do your thing and we come here to chill and hear what you have to say. Yeah, fair enough. It's ultra wide. I have the same issue when I streamed years back on one. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, we're not streaming incredibly precise content, so it is what it is. So let's go do these boots. We're searching for eye level 82 Sekimas, because that's the best base. And we want it with 2 sockets, and we want it normal. We're also going to check magic. And we, of course, want to set non-corrupted, non-sanctified, in case some mad lad decided to sanctify it. So these are expensive, 127 div. We'll probably pick up 2 pair. We want to check magic just in case with the same parameters, in case they're cheaper. Magics are not cheaper. Okay, bless. Whatever. So we're going to blow a little bit of currency on these. Such as life. I'm purposely staying on the website streamer because, you know, well, now we're going to go off the website streamer. This way we can pick up the boots and we can kind of go through the method. So that is our last official craft for the league. I don't think that's enough annuls. We need to hit something decent on these annuls. So I'm expecting probably about 100 annuls altogether for both boots. Should realistically hit something in 100 annuls. I don't care if it's skill effect duration or if it's the charge mod. But either way, we're going to put the Ciderus rune in there. That's the purple Uhtred's rune. And now all we're doing is just picking up random stuff and throwing annuls in there. So what we're looking for is a suffix, either skill effect duration or charges non-consume. That's normally what is going to sell. There's a skill effect duration, so T1 energy shield, T1 skill effect duration, that was easy. It was a bit of a streamer client moment right there. Normally it takes forever to hit that. We want a decent prefix, so we hit on a mess, but we don't hit on like useless stuff. Like dodge roll distance, complete ass. And we want the suffix to be from the rune, so we don't hit on resistances. This is basically blackjack on boots. Trying to get to 21 points. Chaos Res normally would be... This MS roll was really staying alive there for a second. So... And you guys could see how common MS is, just based on how often we hit it. I actually made a mistake there and hit on a mod I shouldn't have. But that's okay, nobody saw anything. There's a skill effect duration. And that's the shit MS. I could technically do the same thing that we do on gloves, which is going to be a good thing to show off for the video. So we're going to treat this boot differently because we don't want this prefix. We're going to slam something else and hope that it's good. But if we slam a bad thing, then the boot is dead. So we pull out opulence for suffix rarity. And we have 2 suffixes. We are going to have to div it. In this case, because we don't want this tier 2 MS, because that's going to screw with our boot, we're going to go prefix crystallization. And we're doing the Abyss Essence just to roll off that mod. Of course, we're going to put Astrids in there first. We're going to end up with Astrids probably in both boots, but yeah. So put Mark of the Abyssal Lord and it put the Desecration on the prefix, which is kind of fine. We don't particularly care where the Desecration goes. And we do want this to fracture a suffix, but the prefixes are more likely to have something decent. So I would prefer to slam a suffix, but if it lands some garbage, we have no way of cleaning it or dealing with it. So in this case, we're gonna force a prefix. So we're just gonna exalt a prefix and pray that it's not trash and movement speed is back and it's trash. So we have a choice here. We're just gonna full on Gamba and hope it doesn't the fracture doesn't hit that. Or we can open our desecration and, you know, hope it's higher than this and just roll the MS. Desecration being open doesn't matter for the purposes of fracture, so that demonstration may as well happen too. So second sandals crafting, woo, yeah, for sure. Made a lot of these. This is very like quick. So 96 ES is like good enough to not get bonked by the tier 3 MS. The rarity's still gonna be a problem though. Like it's going to want to hit rarity, so that is a really expensive thing. So when we try to whittle, this is going to want to hit rarity. So the only reason we're doing this is because if we don't do this, oh, and it's just cooked. Well, I guess we just gotta pray. So we're gonna div this and we're gonna pray. Because there's no anything else. I shouldn't have clicked yes. I'm not lighting it at that point. We want the skill effect duration at 40, rarity at 18. So those are two of our good hits. Here we want the ES as close to 60 as possible. 50 is too low, so we're going to skip it. The skill effect has to be 40. The people that are going to buy skill effect, they need it maxed. So 40 and 57 is good enough. Rarity at 15 is whatever. So thought process. Ideally, you have a reasonable prefix. If this hits a prefix, we have options. We can price check spirit or effective socketed items, and we can send that prefix to suffix, and then we could just prefix chaos for one mod and desecrate the last one. If this hits a skill effect duration suffix, then at that point we can pick anything that we want on the desecration, and we can forego the rarity, and we're gonna have to price check whether rarity sells or not. But we have free suffixes, so we just need to deal with the prefixes. So we slam it twice and hope it doesn't brick. And we basically finish it with whittles. The prefixes will brick a lot. But if it fractures skill effect duration and prefixes get bricked, we annul everything down and start chaosing for whatever we decide. Usually we would want to do suffixes last on here if our suffix is fractured. So we would chaos for one prefix and slam a second one, and then probably whittle a third one and desecrate something on the suffix. So depending on where the fracture lands, there's a whole bunch of different options. This one is really dependent on the fracture, because if the fracture lands on movement speed, I'm throwing this on the ground. We're literally deleting it at cursor at this point of the league. There's absolutely no point in having a fractured tier 2 MS, which sucks, which just means we deleted a whole bunch of money, which I guess is par for the course on End League. So the question here is, where do we want the desecration? Where's the easiest way to clean the desecration? It doesn't matter. I think we'll have to light it off no matter what we do. So I am going to stick it on a suffix in this case. I don't remember why we went with the suffix, and it's a little bit too late in the evening for me to think about why we picked suffix, but there was a thought process where we were considering prefix and suffix, and I just settled down on putting the desecration on the suffix here. I wish I had better information for you. I just honestly don't remember. Like, I sat with this craft for a couple of days mathing stuff out. So we're going to send this and we win, and we're going to send this and we win. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Streamer client still enabled. The skill effect duration increase Archon buff. It increases all skills, sir. Sub Keeson, this is Generic Bro from Discord. Glad to see you doing good. Almost 40 viewers. Late night streams. Awesome this early. Keep it up. Appreciate you. Give me your OBS. GG Fractures tool. LMFAO could never be me. Listen, this was never me either. This is the first time in the league that this happened. The game knows I don't really care if I hit these fractures, so that's why it's giving us the fractures. So, honestly, with this boot, I'm just annulling it down. Like, I don't think there's any point in dealing with anything else on this. This one's actually reasonable to keep. So I think on that one, we're looking to slam prefixes twice and see what happens. This one, I think I'm just annulling it down because I don't particularly care about the rarity. But this is where the price check effect comes in, because we want to set these and kind of see Sekabas. This doesn't matter. The skill effect duration is 40. Yes, sure. It's always 40 there. 15 rarity and like 300 ES. And we need to start seeing price checks. So we're going to once again become a website streamer. And we need to... I purposely left this kind of open because I want to see what is available as far as like movement speed. So we're not looking at anything with low tiers of movement speed. So life is absolutely dead on this. Skill effect, cooldown recovery, crafted MS, no, just no. Hybrid MS on an item level 80 boot, fine, but not great. 81 boot, no MS. So I think the MS is the premium here. So if we can go rarity effect duration, this is a dead suffix, by the way. But somebody basically whittled into MS here. So in theory, because we have this mod, and we have this mod on that boot. And then we have just a sitting desecration in the suffix. So we could pick the desecration on there. So technically speaking, we slam prefixes and search for one of these two. There's an argument to go both ways, but at least these are... I mean, they've been listed for 2 weeks, right? The bad example, these are not selling. So this has charges and then hybrid MS desecrated. So in reality, if we were like actually profit crafting this, it might make sense to chaos for the charges and then slam prefixes. Let me see what else is going on here. These are a week. Obviously, they're not selling if they've been up for a week. So skill effect charges. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. So we're just going through and finding as to like what could be something. These are like astronomical prices. I don't even know what the point of the... I don't know in what world any of that sells. I guess the 25 quality is the redeeming effect. So let's drop the skill effect duration to 30 and see if we have more comps. What if we don't have rarity? See if we don't have rarity and we're looking at like the 400 mark. Like, I'm interested in in seeing what other options we have with like slightly less skill effect duration as to what we're trying to build, because we need to see what we're trying to do. So a lot of people doing it on cheaper boot and not going for the full MS. This guy did perfect prefixes, skill effect, socketed items, and like strength and dex. I guess he just gave up on the lights on the suffix. So skill effect and charges not consumed. This is an 80 boot. So I guess one thing that is going for us is the boot is 82. So let's cut this off at 82 because we're looking at some partials that we don't need to be looking at. So rarity, no rarity. Skill effect, fire res. None of these have socketed stuff. So I think socketed stuff might be out of the question. I think these are... we're not seeing anything with the sockets. Huh. So rarity and one res. So I'm thinking we're gonna go desecrate suffix, and if we roll into this mod, then we have money, and if we roll into just a res, then it's fine still, and we need to just prefix whittle, and the prefix whittle might be expensive. But for the most part, these comps are telling us that either rarity will sell or a res with like a second expensive mod will sell. What's up, boys? Nice late stream. Hope everyone's having a good time. Everybody's having a great time, I think. I missed the start of the craft. What was the duration from chaos bought with a base? We bought a white base. We socketed Uhtred Siderus into it, and then we did Oganol. I'm gonna upload the video, by the way, so I'm gonna edit out a lot of the things. So we're gonna you'll see this on the actual video. So I want to keep that desecration there. I think I need to open that desecration just to have it click something above rarity so it doesn't always target the desecration. If I roll some stupid low-level mod, it's at least not completely cooked. Whatever, we'll light this off later. So at this point, it's just a prefix slam and looking into whittles, and if it breaks, it breaks. Now, one thing we need to make sure is we need to see the int boots on the website. And we need to make sure, so max ES is item level 54. So that's the first thing that's going to go as soon as we slam literally anything else on it. So we probably are going to lose that ES, which is fine. Realistically speaking, I would prefer to chaos for the skills have a chance not to remove charges, or chaos for some prefixes. There's not going to be a really good alloy. I mean, I was seeing some spirit stuff, but I don't know if somebody really wants. I think usually people go spirit on like the +1 suffix boots. So we don't really have any really good options for the suffixes. But since we have one fractured, we have really easy whittles on it, and then desecrate last. Unless we want to double whittle it. So there's kind of various ideas. So the first thing I'm gonna do is see what the RNG brings me. We go double slam on the prefix, we send it with a perfect exalt, and we got T1 move speed, and we got T1 hybrid. So the T1 hybrid, I think, is the problem here. We're on the website, so just so you guys could see, we just did a prefix and a double with the perfect exalt. We got T1 MS, and we got T1 hybrid energy shield stun threshold. So back to website. Energy stun threshold is 74. So we can, in theory, perfectly simply whittle this. So it's not a brick. We can send prefix whittles at this, at the number energy shield. We could just send whittles at this until it hits the percent energy shield. Actually, no, we'll never be able to get the stun threshold off. So we need to gamble to get the stun threshold off. So we don't have an Astrids in there. We're definitely going to need an Astrids. What I'm thinking here is we need to get that stun threshold off. And ideally, I would much prefer to desecrate the suffix if I can. But I could also block the hybrid stun threshold. I mean, sometimes we win this, sometimes we don't win this. If this lands on MS, it's just a travesty and we reset the craft. But we haven't committed anything expensive to this yet. So we're still at the starting stages. So at that point, I would take the Runic Ward Alloy and just send it on the prefix. And sometimes we just win. You know what I'm saying? That landed on exactly the right mod. That's just, yeah. Yeah. Well, if it didn't, we would just annul this and go back to chaosing. But since it did, now we're going to... Now we're going to look at our boy Perfect Chaos. And, like, mana is not unreasonable, TBH. This is an expensive click. MS while sprinting, so... That's like a monk boot. And I don't think we can do anything about this MS while sprinting. Like, we could kill off our energy shield and search for %. But either way, we're never getting that MS while sprinting on there. It's just like too many bricks. So the most ideal part in this is probably desecrating the prefix. But at this point, it just kind of is on the it is what it is level. Somebody's going to want to buy it once we put a reasonable desecration on there and just call that a day for a profit craft. MS while sprinting is not bad. Like, I would wear these on my monk. So it's not a terrible boot, especially with the skill effect duration. There's a lot of people that can buy this and will buy this. So we're going to look at some lights. We're going to look at some rerolls. And we're going to grab some jawbones. We should see something that's reasonably takeable in about 10. Now the other rib is going to get completely annulled down to 1 mod and restarted with, because I can't really do much with these prefixes. So at this point, we're looking for high res, charges not consuming, cooldown recovery. There's like any number of outs. We just need the last mod to be reasonable and high level. Debuff expiring is not anything good. We're not interested in any of what they're selling right now. Mana cost efficiency, if you dodge recently, is actually like insanity. Int would be good if we had mana on the prefix. Since we don't have mana on the prefix, Int is dead. 10% on the charges, I think, is tier 1. If that is tier 1, we are taking that. It might not be tier 1, though. I think tier 1 might be from 11. 10 is tier 2. We can't take tier 2. But that would be the mod that we want. Tier 2 Chaos Res is also just slightly not good enough. 18 cooldown recovery rate is not high enough roll. Cooldown needs to be 24 to 30. I double checked that on the website. Like, tier 1 res would probably be good enough here. I say that, we're offered tier 1 res, and I don't like it. I mean, I'm gonna take it. I don't like it, but I'm gonna still take it. There's definitely options for doing something better with this. But we really, 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 really want to desecrate that prefix. Because without the prefix desecrate, it's a problem. Prefix desecrate absolutely solves our issue. Because we could just keep the prefixes to 2 mods. Roll one until MS. Roll the second one until whatever it hits. And then desecrate the last one. So we really need to be desecrating prefixes. And then we could whittle the last suffix. So that is going to definitely be the better option, and so I'm going to demonstrate that on the second boot. There's a lot of garbage in the pool. There's so much garbage in the pool for boots. So this, important to unclick lights before you start annulling stuff down. So we're looking for the skill effect, not the skill effect duration, but charges don't consume mod. It's gonna probably take a while to find the mod. It's a pretty low weight, but we should be able to find it in about 200 Chaos Orbs. So we're gonna buy, give or take, really? And we're gonna buy, give or take, 300 Chaos Orbs. So 10 is the top of tier 2. We've already established we need 11. That's why it gives us 10 back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's exactly how that game works. There's an argument with starting with a res so that the mod's locked in and everything's whittleable, but it's kind of a problem. Starting with MS makes the prefixes easy, but suffix is absolutely impossible, so we don't want to do that. MS is a little bit easier to hit on our whittles and everything else. Like, it's not going to take too much. The prefixes are very, very, very whittle resistant, very whittle susceptible. And the suffixes are a pain in the rear to whittle. So having to do one is going to be kind of a problem. Give me your orbs. Yes, sir. Those fracturing orbs. You don't want my fracturing orbs the rest of the league, though. This is the only good fracturing knight. If we put tier 1 cooldown recovery, we'll take that also. So it's either charges or cooldown recovery tier 1. Is what we're looking for here. Just for what, as far as what sells. So we're looking for 24 on cooldown or better, or 11 or better on the non-consume on charges. Didn't you say the other day not to try to make quarter staves? I say it every day not to make quarter staves. Just don't even make any attack weapons. Why? I tried and failed. Yeah, that is generally how that goes, sir. That's why I tell you guys not to do it. It's not because I'm trying to gatekeep you and, like, make money myself by crafting it. I also don't make attack weapons, really. Unless it's with other people's money. Like, I will make one community quarterstaff per league. That's the extent of my, like, very deep attack weapon crafting. And I'll probably Frankenstein some basic shit for myself. But, like, since they deleted essences and there's no real skill expression on the attack weapons, I'm not really interested, because once we had like triple essences and we could do a lot of the battle, we could do a whole lot of like the prefix gain essences. There were different options. Then I made them for profit. Last league I did. Made a bunch of money on quarter staves. This league, not touching that shit. I saw a guide for crafting a perfect fist quarterstaff, and one of them steps involves cycling perfect exalts and suffix and alls until you hit +5 skills. Couldn't they just do suffix fucking chaos? That's cheaper. Suffix chaos with a greater chaos orb is probably cheaper. It's like half the price, and it's like 20% less likely to hit what they want. So it's just more efficient to do it with the suffix chaos and a greater chaos. They haven't optimized that craft. Whoever said for the perfect fizz, what are we chaosing for? We are. Is greater chaos better sometimes? In this scenario, no. Greater chaos is better when you're spending money on like a whittle. But in this, not at all. We're looking for either tier 1 cooldown or tier 1 skills don't consume. Or skills don't consume charges. Like, we're looking for this mod, but with at least 11. We've seen tier 2 like, 4 times. And these types of mods usually don't have a much lower weighting on tier 1 compared to tier 2. So, it's just being unlucky. We need one good suffix so I could show you guys how to do prefixes. Really? We went through 360 Chaos Orbs and did not hit it? That's crazy work. That's actually insane. I think, like, average for me is about 200. I guess we're paying for the fractures, boys. The game giveth and the game taketh away. Delete Chaos meta. Kills SSF at the moment. Yeah, crafting an SSF is like... It's a whole other level. I don't know if I could take it. The game is playing with us at this point, chat. The game is just toying with us. Forgot to turn on Streamer Client. It was on for the fractures. It's like a delirium bar, right? You use it, it depletes. So we gotta build it up again. Orbs on cooldown from the fracture, 100%. I was loving it until I got fracture crafts and realized I needed 500x more chaos than any other material. I really want much more determination in craft. You say that, and then you get determination, and the league is ass, because everybody's just printing the same thing. I mean, we max roll cooldown, so we're taking it. That just is what it is. These are now skill effect duration plus cooldown boots. So, now at this point, we want a single suffix slam to fill it. It's tier 1 rarity, which is admittedly great, because our suffixes are done and we don't have to whittle them. It's also admittedly a fucking bullshit slam, because now we're gonna have a problem on the prefixes, but I guess that is what it is. So we slam them twice and we got our movement speed. Okay, well, I guess we just win. I guess we just win at life. That's... Because we needed to whittle exactly for tier 1 movement speed. We had to... I was expecting to slam random bullshit. So what you do, chat, is when... Pretend this is random bullshit, right? Pretend this is not rarity, and this is stuff we don't need. It's just high enough level because we slammed it with a perfect. And both of these are random bullshits. We whittle this until we end up in this position where it's MS and life. And if you hit tier 1 ES, you whittle over it. And if you hit tier 1 flat ES, you whittle over. I don't care what you hit on here. You whittle until you have tier 1 MS and a bullshit mod. Because tier 1 MS is 82. You can't roll it off with a poodle. And then the second mod, we whittle until we have something desirable, either flat or percent. And then we desecrate the last one. And when we're done with our desecrations, then we whittle this. And often it'll land on like stupid shit that we don't care for. But it's item level 75 and we're just screwed. So it is what it is. There are bricks on the suffix. But given that we were skilled with our perfect exalt slam when we got rarity, the suffixes are just done. And the prefixes just saved us a bunch of money. So realistically speaking, all we're going to do is click a bunch of these on the boot until it's going to... until that... Not that boot. This boot. Until that life becomes something more useful. Of course, that hits rarity. And if it hits rarity, then if we're using this, then we're going to go perfect. That was so close, and yet so far. So close, and yet so far. Wow. Wow. There we go. I guess Streamer Cloud came off cooldown for those slams, though. So we shouldn't need that many lights. I mean, I put that many lights, but we shouldn't need that many lights. So we'll go Ancient Rib, and so all we're looking for is tier 1 flat. Will you block hybrid with the Desecrate? I don't need to block anything with the Desecrate. Blocking is a trap. Think about this. I block hybrid with a Desecrate. I hit one of these bullshit mods, then what? Think about it. This is 74. I hit one of these 78s that I don't want. Now what? Now I have to light the blocker that I just set, that I worked so hard to set. Why? Yep. So the reason we don't block anything is, look at this. This is a perfect algorithmical, step-by-step, logical way of doing your boots every time, as long as you have the bunny. You whittle for this mod. Don't care what else you hit on there. Don't care. You're whittling for exactly tier 1 MS. You hit it. Done. Then you whittle for literally anything else on the list. Whatever you want. You want ES, you want percent ES, whatever. You hit that, you're done. No more whittles. You drop a Desecration on top of it for whatever else you want. That's it. No matter what mod. There are no bricks, there are no fails, there are no nothing. It's just a matter of how many whittles is it going to take you to hit MS, how many whittles is it going to take you to hit the second mod. Nothing else matters. It's a perfectly guaranteed way of getting it with enough money. It's not exactly guaranteed, but it's... Hello, man. Just want to say hi. Thanks for all the cool videos. Absolutely. You are welcome. Without Uhtred, it's just higher chance with the whittle. Sure. Yeah, without Uhtred, it's perfectly reasonable to do so. But if like, the thing is also making these boots without Uhtred is kind of like they'll just never sell. The Uhtred mods are too desirable at this point of the league, anyway. And our ES is 48 or better is what we're looking for. That's 48 or better. Done. So that's the boot. Now we could also corrupt these. But, I mean, it's end league, so I don't think it really matters if we do or don't corrupt them. But, generally speaking, if you corrupt them and hit the 3 sockets, it's GG's. Yeah, this is going to be impossible to price, by the way. 17, 41 res, 15 rarity, a single socket, Sekimas. Doesn't exist. What if we take off the res? Doesn't exist. What if we take off 82 and Sekimas? 35 Sandsworn, 14 days. That's a not even a realistic comp. What if you take off the rarity? We just search 3 modded ones. Flowing potency, 10 days, 590, 1 hour. Fire res, MS, percent ES, skill effect, MS sprinting, lightning res instead of duration. No, with duration. It's duration, sprinting, and 35 MS. So they got double res instead of rarity. Sure, I'll send these for 500. I think it's kind of irrelevant because I don't think they'll sell, and that was the wrong prefix method. So had we used the better prefix method, then we would have been fine. 21 quality, I think it's irrelevant. Not at this point of the league. It doesn't matter because I'm not gonna even be playing the game tomorrow to even come check on it. I guess I might be speedrunning, so I will probably eventually check it, but unlikely. These should have comps. There's a comp to this. 12 hours haven't sold. This is a good boot. This is a really good boot. This would actually probably pay off the entire craft. Yep. Yep. This is a good-ass boot. I should probably put better runes in them. Just make them a little bit more marketable. It's a bit too late on that one. Yeah, we're gonna be... Speedrunning is literally next on the menu. After we're done with the craft, I'm gonna do Act 1 with some demos and some yapping, and hopefully I do a little bit better than yesterday. I was pretty brain damaged yesterday and very rusty. I did a couple of runs today. I got it sub 40 for Act 1. Which my PB is like 35. Alright, we're gonna send this one out to at 10:50. This one's too late on the Astrids, and that's that. Good evening, Johnny. The stream is a chilling. Do you have plans for PoE1, something Warb related? I would play Warb, but 9 streamers are gonna do it. I don't want to be one of 9. I'm just gonna do my regular bullshit on Lightning Arrow Tornado Shot. It's brain off. It's easy. I don't even want to play PoE1. Any starter / further progression? What do you mean any starter / further progression? Should have corrupted. It's your end league. I think Act 2 and 3 is the slowest for me. Any tips to boost my power in those 2 acts? Definitely. There's going to be more tips. If you guys are still engaged by the end of Act 1, I'll do Act 2 too. Thank you for the follow, Mr. The Bentley 23. I don't know what to play. Just look at Tai Killer. Tai will tell you a reasonable tier list for all builds, and then you can go research from there. Usually does like 10-15 starter per league. The Sanctification Corruption affect Fractured Affix? It does not. Nothing affects the Fractured Affix. It's frozen in time forever. Tired of Strength Stack. Well. Yep. Yeah, quality affects it, sure. If you know, then why you're asking? Should have corrupted. It's your end league. Yeah, probably. Keeson YOLO Crub those 1050 Divine Boots. Maybe tomorrow. We'll give him a chance to sell as is. Unless you have 50,000 channel points or whatever the double or nothing is. You could redeem that and I'll corrupt him. I doubt you have that. I think maybe Valentine has that. Considering we've been streaming for exactly a week, so you know how that goes. I don't think it's possible to have that amount at this point. It is, I'm pretty sure it's possible. Nymph has like 25k or something, or 20k, and he's gone for half the streams. I heard my name, what's going on? We're talking about your channel points. We are wondering if you have enough for the double or nothing redeem. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. How does PoE 1 compare to PoE 2? I've never played 1 and was thinking about giving it a go. I have 9.4k. Never mind. I guess you haven't been on streams. Watched the majority and been subbed for at least half, and I'm like near 10k. Okay, well, I guess you guys don't get to make me corrupt anything until next league. Sucks to be you. You'll do it eventually. I know you're gonna ruin a couple of my items. I already know it. Like, I'm prepared for it. Scam. Yeah, listen, I get a break first. I get to start it. So how does PoE 1 compare to 2? 1 is a lot faster. It's a different game. It's made by the same developers and it's themed the same, but it's a completely different game. So don't expect to transfer any knowledge. There's like minimal overlap. Just expect it to be a different game. No WASD. You wake up on the beach the same way, but the game is faster. The campaign's a lot easier and a lot faster. But the maps are a lot more challenging, and the difficulty spikes really hard on like yellow and red maps. You get a blink skill on every class, or you get a movement skill in every class, so you just end up zoom through the whole thing. If you see what's going on your screen, like if you see monsters, their animations and stuff, you're playing a bad build. The good builds just cover entire screen with bullshit and wipe everything in like 3 directions in any given area. So it's a much faster, much more blasty type of game. There's much more depth. There's obviously 10 years of developments. There's been 30 patches alone since the last expansion. We're on the 3rd expansion. So PoE 1 came out, then they did a 2.0 for the Atlas rework with that was the Awakener. And then they did the 3.0 expansion with the Exarch and Eater. And it's we're 30 patches into the 3rd expansion. So there's going to be league mechanics you've never heard of, thought of. There's like a whole bunch of stuff. He isn't joking either. That's funny. On which part? I'm not joking about which part, Brand Droid. PoE sure as hell is deeper and wider and everything, but the act of playing it just isn't that fun anymore. It's not fun for me either, sir. The fact that y'all are voting for PoE 1 is like, if you see things on your screen as a bad build, I'm not joking. Look at me. I'm deadly serious on that. If you see shit on your screen in PoE 1, you're playing like you're doing something wrong. You cannot be seeing what's going on your screen other than just a of spells. Also, skills in PoE 1 actually work and don't have like 20% chance of activation. Yeah, you don't need like a fucking frenzy charge and the stars and the moon aligning in a perfect solar eclipse to use a fucking totem or something. Like, you could just and go. You know what I mean? You do get to play the game. Like, it doesn't have the damage on Tuesdays. It doesn't have the conditional. It doesn't have the visceral, meaningful combat. It doesn't have the monster push. You could just equip a phasing flask and walk through monsters. You don't get pushed and mobbed in the corner and just gang banged by every random wolf. Like, it's as a game itself, it's in a much more polished state. It's much more enjoyable if you haven't done it for 10 years. The reason I'm not enthused about playing it is because I've killed every endgame boss several hundred times. Like, I've done every farm in the game. I'm on my like 90th character or something. It's not, I've done it a lot. So that's why it's kind of like, like if you have 15,000 hours of League of Legends and somebody's like, hey man, you should play League. And you're like, do I have to? So that's kind of the feeling there. But we're going to do Act 1. I migrated everything. So we're going to do a mark here. I'm going to pull up my regex. I'm going to pull up the timer for you guys. All right, you guys could see the timer. I think y'all wanted it bigger last time. Like, this is probably fine. And I need to pull up my regex. All right, regex pulled. Chat is ready. Okay, lads, I'm gonna talk through a lot of the Act 1 stuff. Just if somebody new comes into the chat, do you have to hit a keybind between each zone for that tracker? No. The zone splits are automatic. I have a start, I have a pause, and I have a reset. And I could go back a split. It does it automatically. When I zone in, it does it on its own. So, but this is a pain in the ass to set up. Yeah, unless you're, don't set this up unless you're gonna be seriously speedrunning, because you're gonna spend 2 hours fucking with it. It's called Life Split, and it's not just as simple as downloading the Life Split. You got to get certain modules up and running, and you got to do it in a particular way that makes it work. It's a pain. It's just a pain. All right, so generally speaking, until your character moves, you don't start. So we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and go. Now, if you guys remember yesterday, we moved the Scroll of Wisdom to the top left so that we can keep our mouse centered. And then the first zone, we talked about this yesterday, but there's no special markers or anything else. It's linear. You just run through it, pick up whatever you need to pick up. If you get sidetracked on here, like pushed in the wrong direction, no big deal. Don't fret. It is what it is. It's like a 20-second time loss at worst. It's not a huge deal either. Like, I'm holding 4 buttons there with like 3 fingers pianoing stuff. Keep in mind, the speedrunning bits, they are not for the faint of heart. And then auto attack is usually enough for the Miller. You don't have to dodge that either. I just do. Out of habit. And sometimes I'm late and I suck. Alright, we're gonna ID the boots on the run. We equip the boots. The reason we kill them away in the corners so we can roll under that thing and skip the animation for waiting. Faster to run up than to fuck with them. Talking to Una here is the mistake. I should have sold them. I should have sold stuff on the way, but it is what it is. So we run through, we check overworld map, that's why I pressed U. Exit is in the top left usually, but not always. Sometimes this thing lies. So that is what it is. That's great. Just got owned immediately. I'm pretty sure we have to do Pharaoh. I don't think it lets us pass until we do him, so we get to spend a whole bunch of time talking to this guy. Can you show us the pause functionality on the timer? They just press a key and it pauses the timer. There's really nothing to it. Picking a transmute here to throw it on the crossbow because we have a surplus of transmutes this league. You normally, on a league where you don't have a surplus of transmutes, you don't want to spend it on your early weapon. But this league is actually completely fine to spend it on your early weapon. Especially because it high rolls often enough. Right. Yep, like that. We just high rolled a damage prefix, and that's exactly what we want. We're dead. That's just Act 1. It's what I get for yapping and not paying attention. These guys will leap at you. The wolves you can run past, but the small buggers, they will leap at you and just murder you. I think there's a bridge. There's not a bridge. Okay, I'm just wrong. Cool. So I'm expecting exit here and the box down there. I'm expecting that to be bait. Okay. So this is the box that I was talking about. We're going to respawn a checkpoint on the box so we're not dragging the entire world with us. So presumably exit is not on that little corner, presumably, but it still might be. And if it is, then it is. We're looking for Bira anyway. We need to do her for the... we need to do her for the head. So there's Bira. That means the exit is over there. And we need to get our Frost Bomb up. Frost Bomb is OP. Rusted Great Helm is fantastic here, so we are assuming that this run is the truth here. We really want that Rusted Great Helm with extra armor. That's amazing. There it is. There's our exit. Okay, so that's about normal. Usually it'll be faster, but just with how this layout is in SSF and how everything is with like spending extra time with Pharaoh, and also I died one time, that's about normal. This makes a gigantic diamond. So we are looking for, this looks like the rightmost point of the diamond tip. I'm resetting a checkpoint to drop aggro from fuckers. So we walk out, preset 3 grenades, roll out, immediately frost bomb, so that the first doesn't, the first grenade isn't cooked. Like, so the first grenade gets the frost bomb benefit. And we try to stand next to her so that if she ports next to us and eats some grenades at least. Alright, now this. We got our multi-shot. So we're trying to draw a diamond. I'm assuming the diamond is pointing up. And I am correct in that assumption. So there's the 1, 2, 3. So we know Grim Tangle is here. And we see the mushroom shit. The Grim Tangle is definitely here somewhere. There it is. And then from the overworld map, we know that the... I didn't show it to you guys because I'm trying to go fast. I'm skipping that because I already got my damage prefix on my regular weapon. So I don't care. We know that the exit from the zone is northwest. So I think it's actually baiting us and it's northwest that direction. I'm just going to check down just to make sure. Yes, it is baiting us. So it's northwest that direction. So you guys could see real fast. Well, it's west. But it's on the northwestern border. So that's why, part of the reason why I'm assuming, Jesus Christ. That, like, peak PoE 2. Fuck this game sometimes. Like, that right there, that's just unadulterated, pure bullshit. There's the exit. So, 7 Red Veil entries, pretty bad. This looks like crochet, and it's crochet open. No, this is crochet closed. Okay, cool. So first obelisk is gonna be down here, and then we're gonna draw a line of obelisks like in a particular direction. You guys will see. Pick up my endpoint in case I find a skill gem. We'll also need the endpoint for pounce anyway, so may as well have it early. The 10% more damage doesn't really matter that much. There's going to be a bridge here that we're expecting to take. And then on the bridge on this island, we should find the next one. And then when we draw the line between the 2 checkpoints, the next one's going to be down. the crochets because this looks like a crocheting hook, basically. There's our skill gem pulling up on time. And from that, we want contagion. I could be faster with my clicks, but whatever. We need to click the refined arms because the refined arms often give us the... There's the obelisk as expected in a straight line. We want the tense crossbow. We really want that tense crossbow, and we really don't want to die fucking to all this bullshit right here. So we're going to try to play a little bit safe and not click the boss just yet because we really, really, really want to pick that up. Okay, cool. We got it. And now we want to not miss on our organelles, and we didn't, and we got it. And that's what I'm talking about, crafting on the way. We got our damage mods off of this. We have Contagion. Contagion's going to do most of the work clearing all this bullshit that's around us. Contagion is absolutely bonkers for this shit. In fact, we're going to try to get frisky and kill some shit over here. So we could look at this while fighting the boss. Probably a little bit inefficient, but I'm trying to potentially high roll for a skill gem or support gem so I could skip shit and make up time later. Since I've killed the Rust King already, I don't particularly care to go back and do it. So I'm going to just take what I got, port to town. 10 exit is like bad, but it could be worse. So given what we just went through, this is fine. Crit chance, don't care. We want that. We don't care about this. We don't care about this. Swap flasks. Don't need to identify blues. You do need to identify rares. Blue ID is down gold. Rare ID is actually up gold. We already have a good one. We don't have enough for this. I'm considering selling the skill gem, or actually I'm going to sell the body armor for the gloves because this is extra flat. Done. And part of the reason why I considered selling the body armor is we got an armor roll on the helmet, which should be enough to, like, just barely enough to have us not eat shit completely from mobs, even though it's still going to be painful. Now, with the armor, it's going to be way better. Okay, yeah, we skipped your stuff. I need to speak to Renly again? What? There's a Grim Tangle port. Alright. The Una skip here is pretty simple. Starter, body check, checkpoint, run back. We don't have to wait for her stuff. And then we discussed this last time too, but Grim Tangle is usually one of two things. It's either straightforward or it's a spiral. This one looks like a possible straightforward combination. We don't know. The only reason I'm IDing this is because there's a chance that this gets lightning. Lightning is strictly better than fizz because of shock. If I can get a source of shock, then we are chilling. We are going to fight this because there's a lot of times a support gem in here, which lets us skip the boss. So there's a skill gem here, but no support, but there's armor scraps, which we could use on a high armor piece and solve our defenses for an act. So the armor scrap and the extra 3 skill gem I will take, because if I don't find another one, this is going to be my wing blast. Because I'm going to get one from... I have one from Rust King, so this will be my second skill gem. Alright. Got our stuff. I don't care about the rusted thing. I don't have enough fucking... This is just beautiful. Please no wolves. Game, just one time, no wolves, okay? Life on the edge. Yep, level pulls up exactly on time. Blue pack standing in the corner. This is why we hate Grim Tangle. And so this looks like just a straight away. So we're going to assume that pathing down is correct. When we find this, in this particular league, we know we found the exit. The exit is always behind this little bullshit right here. We summon Pharaoh and get our little rune stuff, do the RP. Generally speaking, inventory management when RP is happening. There isn't any inventory management, but we could look at auging something. Life regen is a suffix. Oh, we fucking streamer client. You guys saw that? Y'all didn't see shit. Alright, that's just beautiful. Hello, Keeson. I'm tasked to write an article. Would you mind a few questions in your own time? Eventually, sir. We are on a speedrun timer at the moment, so we will do questions later. But yes, I absolutely don't mind answering questions. You guys see me slam 10% MS on boots? That was pure skill right there. On an armor base too. Having MS on an armor base is just fucking peak experience. We are looking for both tombs here, and we're looking for the ring. And I'm trying not to run next to the wall. I'm trying to paint the wall with my light radius, like to where if the wall is there, I'm just running like kind of alongside it. We found our ring. Please be iron. Of course, it's Lazuli. It's always Lazuli. I think these rings are weighted for Lazuli. Like 100% weighted for Lazuli. It's not anywhere near 50% on iron rings. So this suspicious little area of bullshit feels like the other tomb is nearby to me, but I could be completely off on that. Here we go. Just end up having to roll in place a lot while waiting for the grenades. We need to check this obelisk for a regal. Sometimes the regal is here, and sometimes it's in one of the tombs. Jesus, I was so dead there. Fucking visceral gameplay. What am I stuck on? Runes. I will take a storm rune. This is probably worth doing specifically for a storm rune. Because artificer orbs are common, and I can fix a damage source with the storm rune. If I have omega damage, which I don't, I'm getting close to that point. Like if I had an iron ring, I would skip this. So the tomb should be in the middle. Researchers, we should do. It's really asked to do researchers, but it's gonna give us like a bunch of transit augs. We waste a lot of time doing a strong box. But like if this was an arcanist or even a blacksmith, I'm not doing it. Research is just guaranteed currency. And every now and again it drops us a regal, so especially if you're going to continue, doing a researchers is a pretty big deal because it gives us optionality to fish for weapons in Act 2. Like if we're looking at having 9 transogs, we could just be buying white bases from the vendor, transogging. If they miss, sell them right back to them. These rates are just crimes against humanity. I will say they really designed this game in the most... Yeah, see, that's what I mean. We get a regal and a bunch of transorbs for our troubles, and we're out of here. We're not interested in whatever these guys are selling. Alright, there's our tomb. So go tomb 1. Researchers what added like a good minute here. Tomb 1, we talked about this yesterday. You gotta check both sides. Whenever one side is closed, we didn't see that yesterday. Usually we're gonna assume that... Ooh, we are dead. We are so dead. We are not dead. Why are we not dead? We should have been dead. Skills. Alright, so we want out of here flash. We want pounce. We want wing blast. We can't equip either one of those two things because your streamer is bad at the game and forgot to buy a talisman, although never punished. The talisman drops right on cue for asking for one. Like, I'm never beating these allegations. Jonathan, stop, please, bro. I don't need to be this lucky. Like, it's okay. I could have bought a talisman at home. I'll take it, but like, Jesus Christ. Wyvern form. And pounce. Pounce. Visceral combat, lads. Visceral combat while trying to click skills. I think that way is the truth. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Bless. Okay, we made it. The zone is by far the worst bullshit ever. Holy stream client working overtime. I'm never beating these allegations, by the way. I don't really want this skill. That was an animation cancel on the rend. We don't actually need to hit anything. You could do it from Narnia. But rend is a shitload of damage. So if you could force a rend on crossbows, this is why we were fishing for an extra skill gem, is because it makes this boss gauntlet that we're running right now with the triple boss much easier. The zone, looking to, that looks like the edge. We're looking for a wheel tile. Wheel tile, you'll see it when we get to it. This is the edge of the zone, so... Ugh, that is just gross. We got immediately owned. Blue pack, we stop for a blue pack. We murder blue pack. Because blue pack is XP. There's the wheel tile. It looks like a wheel. So we draw a line from the wheel tile. We generally find the boss. Also, this wavy form shit right here, that's the boss arena. When you see that waveform, you know you found the boss. Now, as far as actually getting to the boss, sometimes the game just absolutely shits on you. In this case, based on this little snippet of area, I'm pretty sure we need to walk through, and am I wrong? Good lord, this layout sucks. Oh my god, this layout omega sucks. Okay, so now we need to, like, we know where the boss is, but the game just won't let us path to him. So, you saw how that shit is literally in the corner and we gotta run the entire map. Like, sometimes you just get owned. Alright. Be in the habit of managing inventory and kind of trying to make shit efficient if you can. And this is why we use the shit in the center on this guy, because he swings at you and he can't actually hit anything. And then as long as you dodge roll that, let's rend. And we should be able to... Yep. Our weapon is ass, by the way, but we're just carried by rend here. So, at that point, touch the gate, respawn a checkpoint, find wheel instantly, walls everywhere, first to run around the whole map. Yeah. I mean, that is the worst layout that exists out there for that zone, by the way. Like, I'm not even mad about that one. We just got owned. It's like a 1 in 12 to get that one. That one just sucks. Oh no, this attack is coming. I know it is. Yep. That double chill into a ground slam is what ends up killing you a lot. We don't want the Lachlan ring. Lachlan ring makes Una play an animation of rezzing the hooded one. We don't want to play that animation because we get hooded one at the end anyway. Excuse me. This zone is just a big square. We found the boss. We're gonna run the boss, and then we're gonna port and run the other direction. There's nothing in the center, so we're not interested in anything in like being around the center at all. All right, third explosion. We're good. You should phase right now. Here's the frost bomb on the way. He should get tapped by the frost bomb. We're gonna reset another frost bomb there on arrival, and then we're gonna pre-stack grenades. And this is about the standard damage that you should expect. I think he phased there. Yep, he sure did. So we're just keeping the exposure up for extra damage. And we're gonna drop Frost Bomb on the way so that he walks through it and gets tapped by it. He always goes on the long side, by the way, so you already know to drop the Frost Bomb and the grenades on the long side. Bless. Respawn a checkpoint. Click this, click that. We're going to check corners for... Actually, we don't really need to check corners. I want the support gem. Because I skipped the boss. I didn't find the support gem, so I would prefer to have the support gem. I want this checkpoint before I fight the fucking... whatever this is. I'm actually not really interested in fighting that guy. He's going to take way too long to do. I don't think I need to talk to Pharaoh once I activate him. There's our Agam pointer. At this point, we are outie. I wanted the support gem, but I guess I just don't get the support gem. We are level 8. That is not enough. We need to take XP. We need to take XP. Take XP. I want to be 9. There's a block. We're going to pounce over the block. Una's hut is behind it. I would just walk up to it and pounce, but the blue packs are just really good XP, and I really need that XP bar to fill. There's our pounce. Pick up the checkpoint. Get Una's bullshit. Technically don't have to fight it. Can reset a checkpoint. Doesn't matter though. We go 90 degrees perpendicular. We are out. You're not a blue pack. That is a jagged edge. Okay. The exit is far away in this direction. We will fight you rare because we need XP and we don't mind fishing for some gears. You are fire resistant though, so maybe we won't fight you. Maybe we don't. We will let you live, sir. We're not interested in wasting that much time. There's a crop circle. We'll pick up our level 4 gem here. Let's see if I have an extra 3 for this. I do. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate you. Of course, it's an Ellie res mutt. This is so ass. Normally, he would be dead, but that's just life. We need to make sure we take enough XP before Executioner in the next zone. Alright, our level 4 gem. There's the exit tile. Exit's going to be this direction right here. We're going to turn, and we're there. Perfect. Expected. Alright. We are on pace other than the early bullshit. You see these are all +6s. I'm mousing over packs looking for blue. The second I see blue on cursor, I'm stopping. If there's enough regular white mobs, I am taking it because I need the XP. I need to town before Executioner because this is not enough damage to do Executioner comfortably. Like, it's enough to fight him for fucking 5 minutes. Ooh, yes, we want this. We don't want to die to it, though. So, ideally, don't die. Because I lack the support gem, there's just not a comfortable level of damage for Executioner. So, we're going to try to high roll for a... What the... Sturdy crossbow. Yep, and we found that thing, so we really need to take this XP because the boss is not going to be too far behind. Touch the checkpoint, calculated. Blank room, feathered robe. This is lightning resistant. We don't care about lightning resistant. Oh, it's elemental resistance and lightning resistance. Imagine running into this guy on lightning arrow. I would scream and run away. Alright, beautiful. So we're immediately towning here. We got our skill book from Una. Pick up stuff. We got fire damage. It's level 11. It's a higher tier of fire damage. We want that a lot. We don't care about this. Evasion, ES, don't give a fuck. We got better flasks, so we don't have to town before Geonor. That's great. And here, always the Storm Rune. And we got... We win. We win, boys. We win. We win. We win. We win. I don't care what this hits, and it hits good stuff. That's amazing. We get our Storm Rune. We are rolling. Done. We win, we win, we win there. I don't know if you guys saw, it had lightning. I hit IPD on it. I put a rune on it, and we are just straight up down the hatch. We are level 10. We don't care about anything else in the zone. This looks like the boss tile set for the exit, so we are rolling forward. I take int, I take dex, I take strength, just in case. I never have to take int again. Yeah, we saw cheat. I don't know. Somebody needs to tell Jonathan he doesn't need to be watching my stream. I don't know what to tell him. So this should absolutely obliterate him. Alright, he's dead. Goodbye. Alright. Touch latest once. Zone out to ramparts. Easy. Away from checkpoint first. It's a block. I guess this tile set always forces that block. So last league was different. This league it is what it is. We are happy to take XP here. I'm completely happy to take 2 levels in this zone. Anytime we see gold gloves, we get excited because shit like this happens. And yeah. That's great. Happy to kill white mobs here. It's high density areas. We get our support gem here, so that's our LA armament. Specifically need to pass that little chokehold area. When you touch the rope, roll away, support gem drops in here instead of in the gallows. So we got our LA armament, and I actually had a support gem in there the whole time, just missing damage. Casually bad at this game. Because I reset a checkpoint, I guess the blue pack is gone. Never punished because there's another blue pack right here. So I am entirely happy with our position in here. Even if we do get 11, like I would prefer it to be 12, but 11 is fine. I will take 11. Lesser electricity, considering we finished our bow or our crossbow already, is bait. We're going to be on this crossbow until our varnished. So there's no reason to tap that essence. Essences are usually deadly. If that was abrasion, I would take it. That's a slim mace drop. I'm not interested in fighting that temp bubble guy. He can fuck right off. Alright, we enter at 11.3. 11.3 is fine. 12 is preferable, but 11.3 will do. We can make up some XP in Vestiri. This is kind of a slower pace. But I died a few times, and also a slower start on the league. Maybe just 40s are what they are here. Why am I fighting this temporal guy, you ask? I don't know myself. I do not need to be doing any of that shit. We do need to hit 12 before Geonor. Otherwise, it's just insanity. That looks like a blue pack. That is a blue pack. So we're going to stop being bad and go kill the blue pack. The belt is like, okay, we will equip a charm at some point. When we get one, we don't have one, but we will have one. That's Candlemas. We're not bothered with such tomfoolery. We're going for the Geonor kill. Alright. So, I see the pathway. I presumably don't get owned here. There's the pathway. Throw grenades down the hatch. So we talked about yesterday how the first zone we assume is in the direction of the entrance, and the second zone is the opposite way. So we were pointed southwest. So on the first floor we went southwest. On the second floor we know we're gonna go northeast because we went southwest to cross this little chasm right here. Just FYI. This is not the exit. That door is bait. So that means the exit is up here. You see 2 hallways, 1 hallway, you always take a singular hallway, and you always assume that Geonor is going to be pointed. Hello? Okay. I will take it. Thank you, Earned. We're always assuming that we're walking into Geonor's room facing northwest. So we're gonna be walking, like, Geonor's room is gonna be here somewhere, like over here. Because we're gonna walk up to it facing northwest. I'm just trying to get my 12 here. Otherwise, I would have skipped that guy like 76 times. But, you know, that looks like Geonor's room. You see what I mean? Like, I walk up to it and I go northwest. So we know it's always like that with Geonor, no matter what. Can you pause right now? I could. I'm not going to, but I could. Alright. While RP is happening, we're looking at shit. This has 42 armor. We equip it. This has some armor. We equip it. This we don't care about. This we don't care about. Alright. The fact that I let him fucking morph is absolute shit play by me, but that is what it is. I have an extra lightning rune that hello? Okay, I guess we die. Then not. I have cold reds. We shouldn't be dead there, but, like, okay. I guess we are dead there. I mean, I just need to pay attention, right? Like, it's what I get for fucking checking inventory mid-fight. Like, that's normally how that phase is supposed to go. And now we got him in a chase against us to melee attack us, and we just sprint in a corner. That swing is just balls. As soon as paws lift off, we frost bomb. And then we need to roll because he does the... That's why we roll. And this is how that normally goes. Then he does the phase. Okay, cool. So the way you do this phase is he leaps at you always from the opposite side. Always. So you just hug a corner of the fog and then roll. You could do poetry if you want to do poetry, but you could also just stand on the corner and expect him to dash at you from the other side and just react to him. Like, I'm not looking at poetry. I'm yapping with y'all. So he is always forced to leap at you from the other side. Usually... Let's not box ourselves in. Okay, bless. I shouldn't have done that, but I was too focused on dodging Requiem, so that is what it is. Really? 2 in a row? Goodbye. Alright, since you guys asked for Act 2, we're gonna take a small pause. And we're going to send ourselves to Vastiri and then see if you guys want Act 2 tips. If y'all want Act 2 tips, y'all let me know. So we're gonna do a Twitch poll. And while we do the Twitch poll, I'm going to take a smoke break. So, here we go. Are we continuing Act 2 speedrun? Alright, Twitch has a poll. I would like Act 2 tips, but I gotta go to bed. Well, good news for you. I have a video. There's gonna be a VOD on YouTube. Random question. Do you switch to Blackfire if you have a good Bombard, or do you stick with it until Cannonade? It depends on the Bombard. If the Bombard is good, I don't switch it. If the Bombard is mid and the Blackfire is great, I'll switch to Blackfire. Just, you have to do the math. The only reason Bombard is good is it's 25% more damage, or 33% more damage for the extra grenade. So at that point, no, it's 25% because you fire 4 and the Bombard gives you 5. Because I think we get +1 grenade fired from tree. I don't remember. But somewhere around that 25 to 33% more damage from Bombard. If you have better mods than that, if the Blackfire is better than 30% better, then you switch to Blackfire. It's just a straight up damage calc for bosses because you clear trash enough anyway. Yeah, we literally just math it. Because the extra grenade is irrelevant for clear or anything else. Like, we already have amazing clear with all that we do, so we don't have to fuck around with it whatsoever. There's a poll on Twitch. You guys need to vote. Because that vote determines what we do next. 5 people said we're going speedruns. So those of you that don't want to do speedruns, you better speak up or forever hold your peace. You have about 10 seconds left before the shit locks in. 7 people said yes. God damn, you guys. Y'all are just... Okay, I guess we're doing Act 2. Right? So, on that note, smoke break. Be back. Sorry about that, lads. We're back. All right. Act 2 is the lowest for you. Yep. Act 2 is annoying for people. So as we run through this, we're going to quickly take stock of what's going on. We can put these on. And we can drop these on the ground. So we are 12, which means we probably aren't going to hit our desired level 14. And I didn't pick up my 5 skill gem from latest, so that was pretty bad. So I'm going to have to spend a loading screen porting to latest. What we're doing here is we're just running away from the entrance in any particular direction. If we see the league mechanic, we take it. And then we run until we hit a wall, and then we're going to follow the wall. It looks like this wall is trying to push us back towards the entrance, so now we believe that the exit is this way. Because it's just away from the entrance until we hit a wall. And we're looking for a specific formation here. We're looking for this. This gives you that little exact even macaroni, and it's got the little bones around it. That's how we know the boss is there. These little tusks sticking out of the ground. So we found the boss, and we didn't even hit level 13, which is a problem. We are severely underleveled. So we're going to start taking XP everywhere we go. Like, we're just taking XP. Because this is 16, and the next zone is going to be 17, and we have blasted through it, and this is a bit of a problem. On here, you stand on the bone, you target the guy, you pounce, you get up to the boss. We would love to be level 14 by this boss, because then he literally just keels over. I mean, we still got good damage because our crossbow is strong. Strong enough. Reload grenades so you don't die to these idiots. We get the soldier great helm. That's what our armor's things are going to go on if it has armor already. We got our level 5 skill gem. We go Ardura. And unfortunately, we're going to have to waste time for a second level 5 skill gem. Hooded one is there. We control click him. We alt click this. Get rid of that int node. We are actually in need of more int, so we're going to move it further down the tree. So at this point, we need to waste time and go to Act 1 town to talk to Latest and pick up our 5 skill gem. Everything else does not matter, and now we're back to town in 2. He's here, runaway chat. Exactly. So, in an ideal world, you want to start the RP first. So, here's what we do with these. We're going to transog them. And if they're good enough, like this is tier 10 lightning, not good enough. This already has a socket. So, we have an alk, but we don't have a regal. So, we're going to save that varnished. Generally speaking, you want to start RP, then double back to her, if you can. But it is what it is. We're just going to click through. This has 80 armor. We are okay with that. We're going to click the scraps on it. Here, you can touch it. You don't even have to talk to her. As soon as the check mark shows up, you can immediately reset a checkpoint. Some people like to teleport, but teleport dumps you all the way down at the bottom versus you walking in over here from the side on reset to checkpoint is a little bit faster. Not to mention you skip the... It's like a couple of seconds difference. It doesn't matter what you do with that. This zone, we really want to take XP in. We're 4 levels below the zone. Like... we are interested in murdering everything. Except, like, that lone guy. But, like, this pack, if I was on XP curve, I would skip it. I'm not on XP curve. I'm trying to work very, very hard to get back to XP curve. We are absolutely taking every blue pack. Ideally, I would want to hit 14. 14 is what's needed for level 5 gems. Yep, that's just fucking life. We got that deep into it, and we are immediately punished. Now, one thing you'll notice is, like, it's a lot of rolls. And I'll pounce in a pack and then dodge roll through them. And try to summon a wolf if I can. That way they have extra targets to hit. And if they have extra targets to hit, they're not hitting me. So there's less chances of me getting absolutely murderized. And we still don't have a body armor slot, which at this point is becoming more of a liability than help. But we are about to hit 13. I would not mind picking up 2 levels here. These zones are just giant squares inside a big rectangle, basically. Act 2 is all squares and rectangles. The exit is on the opposite side, and there's always a checkpoint in front of the exit. This is not the exit because we don't see a checkpoint. So I guess it pushes it further down. Usually you have to cut across, but I guess not in this case. In this case, it's pushed down this way. We know this is the exit because there's a checkpoint on it. So normally you would need to cut across. Normally the checkpoint would be there. There are some rare layouts where it's not exactly across. But you see how that's a little square? The checkpoint should have been there. It wasn't, so we didn't get baited. But checkpoint signifies the exit here. Alright, we want all these whetstones because they're going to go on our Vardished. Alright, these single packs we don't care about, but this guy we will fight. Especially because more dudes are going to pull up and give us free XP. Which we always enjoy. Iron Rune is fine. Embossed Boots I don't care about. This is again another square. The exit to this zone. And that's a lot of XP, so we need to take it. Alright, this is good. 15 is solid. We should be able to put our gas grenade on. And we don't have the support gems for gas grenade. Unfortunate. But we will get them. Contagion is at this point a dud. And we can upgrade our explosive and we can upgrade our flash. So one thing I will do is move the flash to gas. So that way when I find a tier 2 skill gem. So there's a tier 2 skill gem in Vestiria that we skipped. I'm not fighting this for no Iron Rune. We exited this way, so we entered this way. This makes me believe the exit's directly opposite, and it is. That's what I meant by where the checkpoint should be. And now this needs to fold in on itself. That hallway is always a dead end because the zone is a rectangle. So if this hallway was the truth, then the exit would be somewhere there, would break the rectangle. So we went like this, which means the exit's going to be here. It's snaked. You just kind of got to get used to what they look like. The zones themselves. I explain it better in the video. This is a half diamond of a zone, basically. We enter from a checkpoint. We are still picking up blue packs because we're 3 levels below zone. But now we could just go, there's our level 2 skill gem, the level 2 support gem. We pick up armament 2, we put it in our explosive, and we swap level 1 armament into gas. So we're generally following the train tracks. All the dead ends are in the middle. We are trying to follow the outer left edge. This looks like a dead end. I'm just recognizing the layout. That's why I skipped that. But normally I would expect you to take that path and get owned until you know how it looks like. I just recognized the hallway, and that hallway looks like bait to me, so that's why I didn't take it. That hallway also looks like bait to me, so that's why I'm not taking it, but I would expect you to also take it and get owned. Which is fine. This comes with experience. Like, being able to see that is absolutely experience-based. Other than, like, there's no other... Unfortunately, no other way of getting through it. So, and I got owned on this hallway. And I got double owned on this hallway. Lovely. So it's got to be this way then. It's up top here. Yeah, okay, it's this way. So when you hit this, you know you found the boss. This little pile of rocks there. Okay, cool. So I almost read the zone well. I dodged 2 blocks, but I got baited by 2 more. So we can pre-stack these. This is just a case of rotating grenades. This guy should, like, get absolutely murderized. Yeah. As soon as he dies, we go talk to the guy. We set the portal first. And pick up whatever he drops. Off to Ardura. We touch... Control click hooded on the way to ID items, run past the vendors, talk to Asala, and then cue the animation for this, then run back to the vendors. So we can shop afterwards. So this is really good. The lightning we will take. We will end up probably regaling both of these. If we have regals, we have the exalts to deal with it. So we got a couple of preset crossbows. Our body pieces are amazing. So we ideally want to buy one of these looking dudes, but they are expensive. We don't have the gold, so we're just moving on at this point. We want a body piece with armor. Getting owned is just part of the trade. 100%, my brother. 100%. This zone is a little bit vibes based. You run away from the exit and you just kind of sometimes get owned. I think this is like the snaky type layout. We saw that, so we are probably not getting owned here. Probably. We still are getting owned here. Okay, great. We are 16. We need 13. I will commit a wisdom scroll to this varnished, but it's probably going to be ass. It's ass, because the attack speed is just too low. I will show you the tell for Balbala once we get there, but for the most part, we're just running away from the exit. Like, it's literally nothing more than just trying to get away from the exit. If you hit a division, like if you hit a crossroads, you want to preference the checkpoint side. Okay, so we hit the Twin Sisters. After Twin Sisters, Balbala, before the Twin Sisters, if you find Balbala, it doesn't matter. Like, you could just go alongside him. Balbala is when you hit this Decree of Imprisonment, you see these yellow things, that means Balbala is in that direction. Since it's past the Twin Sisters, that means we always go up opposite from Balbala. That means Balbala is a lie if it's after Twin Sisters. And we find the exit. If it's before the Twin Sisters, it doesn't matter. You can run away from Balbala, you can run towards them, it's whatever. Like, there's I think 8 layouts to the zone. You don't have to study them all, but there's just like key tells that you end up picking up. All right. So we don't wait for Masala here. We ideally don't get ourselves murdered on this blue pack. We want to be the ones doing the murders, not the ones being victims of it. I only stayed because it's a blue pack, but this is a pretty serious amount of white mobs, so it's kind of a lot of XP. And Act 2 is really tough at XP. I keep talking about it, but it is one thing that is going to absolutely cook you. So we pull everything and we try to layer grenades onto it. It's a large pack. We want to get ahead of the curve if we can help it. 20 to 17, we want to be 18 coming out of this zone. We really want to be 18 coming out of the zone. Now notice the Sala is not following us, which is fine because this is the exit to the zone. We step out, there's a checkpoint, we respawn a checkpoint. Then a Sala's on top of us. This one will always drop blue weapons. And I think one rare one, it's not always class appropriate, but that event always drops martial weapons. If your weapon is ass from Act 1, you could force a, not exactly an upgrade every time, but at least something resembling an upgrade. So we're going to try to pull Asala into here. So she's not fighting random stuff, and she starts lifting our gate. Alright, from this point, we don't care if she follows us. Because there's no more gates for her to open. So we skipped waiting for her by essentially running past. We already know this obelisk is ass because we checked it earlier. They moved because we reset a checkpoint. And that's a lot of mobs, so we kind of want to take that XP. I mean, we're not going to, like, completely brute force the XP, but we are definitely taking this blue pack. So, from this point forward, stand at the entrance, pre-stack grenades between you. So, this guy should just keel over at this point. Alright, he's dead. Now, once he does that shit, you jam yourself into the exit. You do a StarCraft trick. You literally jam yourself in and only 2 mobs can hit you. And you could literally just, like, auto-attack them to death. The only time this is dangerous is when sometimes he'll spawn one of those ground things and they'll be on there, then you gotta get out. But if you jam yourself into the exit, you could just literally stand on it and exit. And the running is always downwind, whichever way wind is going. That's the way you run. Touch the checkpoint, you can port immediately. Control click the hooded one, get in the habit. Control click the hooded one, run past everything. Talk to the thing, start the map. We're going to Keth first. Apparently I need to talk to Zarka because no matter what. Okay, well. Idiot. Whatever. So. People are recommending Keth second. Doesn't matter. I like Keth first. My stuff is set up for Keth first. And actually it didn't read Trader's Passage or Halani Gates, and it wants to go Mastodon Badlands first. So whatever, our freaking thing is just gonna be cooked. It is what it is. So at this point, we are glancing at all of our crossbows. We are still looking to make sure that we don't miss an opportunity to hit something good. we are not getting something good, and we are once again out of money because, you know, that's just how it is. So this pushed this past Halani, so we should be looking at, like, I guess Mastodon and Keth are gonna just be mutually exclusive. The way this zone works is it's a rectangle, and the boss is in the middle band of the rectangle. So as you walk in, imagine a rectangle pointing this way. The boss is somewhere in this middle band. So we're gonna check the league mechanic to make sure it's not giving us an exalt or two or something. 2 exalted is gonna be on 3 runes, but it could give us a single exalt. Uncut Spirit, double trans, double log, don't care. So we're gonna go hit Pharaoh's bullshit here. Pick up a checkpoint. And our boss should be in this band here. Now, they have made modifications to this zone, so it's a little bit less, a little bit harder to read. Like, it's less of a rectangle, and, like, it feels a little bit more elongated past this patch. So I will probably have better notes as I run the Act 2 a bunch of times, but and I hate this immunity. Alright. She should be dead here shortly. Alright. The crescent we don't care about. We take this. We're going to sell that. None of this stuff we care about. Sure, we got gold from the unique. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. Gold is always nice. We take strength. We go bottom side for cooldown reduction. This is going to give our grenades an extra use. I don't care about the quest state for the charm. I can always get it later. I will take it, though, and I will take uniques just because they're gold. So uniques sell for a shit ton of gold. And a shit ton of gold gives us optionality at the vendors. And then we still die sometimes randomly because, you know, life. So we are 21, about to go. So zone level is 21, and we are about to be 19. So this is good. The way you know you're at the exit is when you hit the red flooring. Like, it's not sandy, but more of that tile red flooring. Like, this is how we know we're at the end. This is like the tile brick flooring. And the exit usually points northeast, but haven't looked at the overworld map. We found a blue pack, so we're stopping to kill the blue pack. Cool, done. So the exit's gonna point southwest here. Okay, cool. Well, we hit our level before we exited, so we're still on the XP curve. The way this zone is it's a rectangle, then a corner bridge like this, and another rectangle. So we just hug the side of the zone until we find the corner bridge. And we try not to die. Obviously, like, that's kind of like an obvious thing, but this zone is particularly bad on not having checkpoints. So if you die and you have to rerun half of it, it feels really, really, really bad. Like, a lot worse than it normally would. Yep, we just got owned. I'm not taking that blue pack because we're good in XP, and we're going to pick up a bunch of XP on the way. That's bait also. This is bait also. Good lord. Alright, so it looks like the zone is pointing this way, so we should be hitting... This is the corner bridge that I was talking about. Always a blue pack on the corner bridge. Since we're here, we can tap the chests for gold. And we kill the blue pack on the bridge. And then once we're done with that, the exit should just be somewhere along the opposite end. So we want to get to the opposite end ASAP. And then we're looking to run along it. There's this blue pack. I guess we got owned again. That's just... There's a lot of randomly getting owned. But Pounce and Wolf really helps here. That looked like a blue pack for a second, but it isn't. I was baited. Oh, I'm so dead. That's just... That is just unreasonably bad by me. You notice I'm dodging when they're about to hit me. So you just get into the rhythm of like sprinting and then dodging. Like you see how I got hit, but I dodged? This is the wrong way. Is it really like this little cubby? Is that it? Is that my exit? No fucking way that's my exit. Jesus Christ. So this wing tile tells us the exit. And the exit's always opposite from where we got through. What's your endgame boot? Is having 15 spirit and additional suffix? No, once I do Temporalis, I'll probably put 15 spirit and additional suffix on the boot just because I'm wearing Adonias and I don't have anywhere else to put it on. But not right now. Right now, it's just skill effect duration, basic Sekimo boot, nothing to it. The way the zone works is you measure this distance out. You get this far. If you can't cross, then you need to go the other way. Because this is a rectangle for the entrance, and then the rectangle is perpendicular for the actual zone. There's going to be 2 bridges, and we pick up our first lesser jeweler orb here normally. But since they've crangled where the jeweler orbs, where a lot of the good rewards are, we get our elemental offering here. I just click lightning because we need a lightning res. Topaz rune is great, and lightning res is also great for the boss. So we don't get any additional res. Usually elemental offering is next to the bridge. I'm guessing the bridge is going to be pointed this way. So this is the bridge. There's always a blue pack on the bridge and there's a checkpoint. There's actually 2 bridges. We want the league mechanic here. We absolutely need to check it because it'll be our first lesser jewelers if we do find it. Now on grenades, it's not as important because all you end up doing is just putting mag area into it and increasing your mana costs, but it is a lot nicer to have mag area in there. So we're gonna find the boss. The boss, you just hug a wall for the boss. This is the boss tile right here. So we're gonna walk in and pick up the checkpoint, and then we're gonna checkpoint backwards. And we're gonna search for the league mechanic here. And sometimes we get owned and this league mechanic doesn't even give us the lesser jeweler orbs, but we don't have a choice. And because this is a small league mechanic, unlike the way that Temple was, in Temple it took up a whole gigantic ass room. So here it's a much smaller league mechanic, so we need to just like actually go find it. It's a pain in the dick. It's not here. Unless you guys have seen it and I skipped it and I was brain damaged. No, there it is. Okay, so the league mechanic's part of this event. That is ass. But we get our support gem. We'll just kill these. This should be giving us lesser jewelers. And of course it makes us clear the whole fucking thing that I would normally skip. Because it counts all these monsters as part of the league mechanic. This is just unfortunate. Or it isn't, and I'm just bad at this game. Okay, so we don't even get it. Owned. Literally owned. Whatever. Counted as taken XP. He is able to be DPS'd immediately. I would stand next to a wall so that he... and like roll behind him so that when he does the spin, it doesn't go into the middle of the zone and it goes into the wall. After he dies, we go deal with her. And then we double back for his loot. So once she's ignited, we drop a portal. We are not going to click the portal on the way. Then we go back. We look that he didn't drop shit. We wait for the Essence of Water to drop. We don't have inventory space for Essence of Water. Good job, Mr. Streamer. Alright. Control click Hooded. Click Zarka's Quest. Send ourselves to Bone Pits. And go back, and now we can sell off all this garbanzo. We don't have regals to regal this, and we don't have good essences to essence it, so that is what it is. We're continuing to buy crossbows to make sure that we have preset ones, because sometimes you just need a whole bunch of them. And I am interested in buying some body armor with heavy armor on it. So 178 is good. This 220 is better, so I'm gonna drop the money, and now it's gonna be a lot easier because we got lightning res, and we got lightning res, and we got this body armor, and then this is also a good time to make sure you upgrade your flasks. So we click everything here and we walk it out. What is control click? You press control on your keyboard and you click the guy. It's a fast shortcut key for identifying all the items. So you walk by them and you don't have to spend ID scrolls. You just literally ID on the way without thinking about it. And bow pits are really asked for XP, and we were walking into it 4 levels down. So we need to be taking all the blue packs, and ideally we want to find the abyss. This thing here gives us a support gem. I've been pretty ass about switching to multi-shot 2. Multi-shot 2 is insane, so we're going to go ahead and do the switches. So we want multi-shot 2 here, and we want multi-shot 2 here, and this is 1. And I should have another level 2 support gem, and that's going to go armament 2. And armament 2 goes on gas grenade, because we had 1 on there. And now we just picked up a bunch of damage. And now we can put multi-shot back onto the flash grenade. Now, ideally, we want stun on flash grenade. But stun is not available to level 3 support gem, so it is what it is there. We can actually upgrade our multi-shot on stun grenade, but it cannot be asked, so I'm gonna hold the extra support gem until later. So at this point, we're literally just running away from the entrance. And same thing here. We note that checkpoint is on the right-hand side of the entrance. We do need to go to this runestone for Pharaoh. But normally, if I didn't have to pass to the runestone, what I would do is walk straight out. And when I hit a wall, I would preference the side of the checkpoint. So I'm going to duplicate that for you guys right now. I'm gonna approach it at an angle because I already had to get out of the way for this. So we are 21, we're 4 levels below. This is what I mean about this zone being ass. Like, Valley of the Titans is even worse on XP. And I haven't found any Abyss. If you're really struggling for XP here, you can stay and find the Abyss. So I'm pretending like I walked out this way, and when I have a choice to... The checkpoint was on the right-hand side, that's why I'm preferencing going to the right-hand side. Just for this zone, you need to remember to, when given the option of going left or right, prefer the checkpoint side, if you can. So the boss should be in front of us here in just a few. I think that bridge is bait. I'm gonna test it anyway. That bridge is not bait. Okay, cool. Alright, at this point, our frost bomb doesn't do anything, so we're gonna dump it. Because it's a level 1 frost bomb, it stopped doing anything already in Keth. But if you notice, we just have a really nice AoE section on these guys. Don't care about that quiver. Again, control click, be in the same habit. Run past everything, queue ourselves for Valley of the Titans. Run back to the vendors and shop. We would like to pick up better MS boots if we can. We are not getting better gloves. We still have no regals. At this point, not having any regals is a problem because we're no longer getting varnished. So we are in desperate need of regals. We need to be on a varnished now. Our damage is about to start falling off real bad. So at this point, if I see a varnished on the vendor, I'm going to commit an alk to it. We're not doing single lurkers, but we are doing all of this. Alright, and hopefully we can, like, find a fucking regal. The fact that they jumble these mechanics drives me crazy. Artificer orbs. I guess we just get 2 artificer orbs. I'm clicking it in hopes of a raw regal, just like raw currency. I'm gonna try to find the abyss here. Like I didn't do the abyss in the last 2 zones. Like, not bless. We found the abyss. Abyss will drop regals every now and again. So we gotta be conscious of our weapon. Because the weapon is currently ass. On a good varnished, the flash grenade one-shots blue packs. On like a varnished with 3 damage lines, you literally flash grenade and the entire blue pack is dead immediately. So, Abyss is also really, really good XP. I hate this owl shit. Alright. We don't care about any of this. On League Start, absolutely pick that up. In a speedrun setting, I'm never finding the Abyss thing, so it's completely irrelevant. And then I also think that this pass off to the side is going to give us the checkpoint and the waypoint. And since we've collected the medallions, I'm going to go ahead and click them. And it's always charm charges gained. So now we could just port to the start. And now the zone is linear. They changed it. There used to be an infographic. The infographic is on the video. Okay. And then there's people that like, there's some runs I'll speed run and I'll have like 5 regals at this point and have like no varnished. Or no good varnished, I should say, to use the regals on. So 26, 22, we're -4. We are like okay with that. We would prefer to level here because the next zone is complete dog shit for XP. But that is what it is. We need to be at least 26.5 going into the last zone so we can finish jumping around 28. And we click our shit. We go in. We are not happy about this, but that is life. Oh. Can I use a flux on an item with a crafted mod? Yup. So this is a gigantic rectangle. You're just going to pick a wall and you're going to decide to make friends with the wall. And obviously die in the process. Like, we're still not having a terrible act. We're going to finish this on like 145. Given that this is the first time that I ran Act 2 since fucking 3 months ago, it's not horrible. And especially yapping the whole time. The yapping, like, slows down brain process. So once this lets us go for a sufficient period of time, then we know that that's probably the correct wall. Once we touch this, it always gives us Celeste or Iron Rune. So we know we should continue along that wall. Really? At least there was a checkpoint right there. Also fatigue. Since we entered from that direction, I'm assuming that that's a dead end. And that we need to go, like, a little bit further down. And once we walk down these steps, that tells me that we're going the right direction. So we're going to continue trying to hug this, like, this boundary of the world. And we just get frozen and die again. And there's a lesser jeweler's orb that we miss because of it. I love this game. I fucking love this game. Think we need to get Jonathan back on stream. That was the free lesser jeweler's orb that I was promised and never delivered upon because GGG moved the literal league rewards. So support gem level 2 don't care, but 4 whetstones we do care about. So we pick up 4 whetstones here. 4 whetstones are gonna cap our shit. Jesus Christ. The freeze from these mobs is brutal, you guys. It's what I get for deciding to yap and try to speedrun. Because we're down levels and just trying to go fast. Those fuckers right there, they're gonna get us killed with their stupid ass freeze. Steel plate we do want quite a bit because it's a shitload of armor. Support gem whetstone, don't care about the Verisium. Still hugging the same map boundary towards this direction. Is everything doing cold damage here? Jesus. You guys see this shit? That's 4 deaths to, like, just frozen and owned. Alright, this should be the boss arena coming up here shortly. Like, I want to go that way, but if I go that way immediately, I'm just dead again to freeze, so... And this is a blue pack, so I'm gonna roll back into them and kill them. But that's the boss. Once you get down these stairs... Now, while boss does RP, we're IDing stuff. These are ass. I guess we'll sell them. Grenades do fall off and don't do any damage, so you gotta, like, shoot him at his feet. Notice how I'm not shooting them directly at him, but more like in front of him. And the reason that damage becomes a problem in these sections here is if you don't do enough, you run out of mana. So we picked up flash charges there. Okay, we have to just stand behind this. This should be enough to kill him without... Okay. Just barely enough. A result of abusing streamer client? Yeah, just paying it back, I guess. Really. Alright, I might as well get rid of all the shit I'm wearing. I'm gonna keep this, gonna wear that. And we're taking all the strength nodes all the way down. This is gonna, that steel plate's gonna carry us in Act 3 defensively. Still no Regals. Good God. Alright, Deshar, 132 Deshar is pretty sad, but that is what it is. I think I need to alk one of these. I'm gonna alk this one. That's not great, but I don't really have a choice. I think we need just a better weapon, period. So we're gonna click it. We're gonna click it twice, and we gotta commit to it, because otherwise I will never get a better weapon, and that just is what it is. Unfortunately, sometimes you gotta commit to a shit weapon As we walk into Deshar with that weapon, we're going to run out of mana on the boss. We're going to have a hell of a problem clearing these yellow packs. So I would like to have my Varnished solved by like before Keth. At the latest before Mastodon, but we cleared Keth, Mastodon Valley, and still couldn't find a Regal. And it's like I'm checking the zones where the Regals are, but the league mechanic is just not giving them, so they rebalance the league mechanic. So that makes it kind of a problem. This zone is kind of like narrow hallways that then they're going to push you off to either side, and then it opens up into the more open area. The Sakema thing could be on any random freaking literally on any random building on the south end. So what you end up having to do is just kind of path towards the exit and then double back for the Sakema unless you find her on the way and you're lucky. Spired Great Helm is something that we're very much interested in because it's additional armor. Yep, because why would we be offered a Regal? No, no Regals. I guess at this point it doesn't matter if we get offered a Regal or not. We pot committed to a thing. Once you find this bile on the ground, there's the two rares. I'm gonna kill him even though I'm not ascending, but you want to ascend from this rather than from Balbala. Because this gives you a higher level and it puts it in a place where you need to catch up on XP. You don't need to catch up on XP after Balbala because Trader's Passage is really good XP. The zone after Trader's Passage, the gate zone is really good XP, and then you usually enter Keth. Keth is really good XP, but by the time you get to Deshar, if you are going to ascend, you generally need XP here. So that goes here, that goes there. So if you do ascend, you pick up the guaranteed Baria from the double bile dudes. And then we are literally just running away from the exit, from the entrance, looking for this. This is the exit, and now we can always respawn a checkpoint once we find this stupid fucking thing. She's usually on the last building you check. That's just how that works out. But we also would prefer to walk into the next zone at 25, so I'm not entirely unhappy about needing to take this XP. A lot of this act is just XP management. So she's not there, she's not there. She might be on one of, she like might be below that building there, or there she is. I got her. Respawn a checkpoint. We're not exactly 25, but this is good enough. This is very linear. You just kind of walk diagonally in one direction, and then you walk down. So we're either going to walk diagonally and like this way, or we're going to walk like down, and it's basically going to point you in a direction you're going to believe that it's horizontally. Like the exit should be over here on the left somewhere. Pound skips. Thank you very much for the follow. This little area here is a pound skip. So we don't have to walk around whatever bullshit this game is offering us. Because we can just do the pounce. And you see how we just kind of, it would have made us touch an extra point. So we can literally run through the entire zone. If you're good in XP, the zone is amazing because you can, generally speaking, get through the entirety of it without having to kill a single mob. Alright, so this tells me that the correct pathway is down, and I just made the wrong turn over there. And if the correct pathway is down, then this is the exit tile. And it is. Are you going to play PoE 1 with the new season? I wasn't going to, but chat made me. It's your guys' fault. I put up a vote on Discord as to what to do for the down content for a week, or rather a month without PoE 2. And chat voted like overwhelmingly for PoE 1. PoE 2 speedrunning was on the table, variety was on the table, taking a break was on the table. So we just let democracy decide. And I guess democracy fucked me in the ass. I mean, it's not their fault. I didn't have to put PoE 1 on the poll, but I kind of had an inkling that's what the people wanted. However, we are probably not going to do PoE 1 video content. It's probably, we're going to just treat it as a variety stream, basically. Probably just play it, answer questions, chill. PoE 1 is a lot more chill for me. Like, I don't go nearly as ham on this. I'm not clicking sisters here because I don't feel like my build is strong enough to deal with all the extra mobs. Even though I want the XP, I'm gonna double back for it and do it at the end, because clicking that makes all of these extra dudes on every platform alive. Since we have the extra stuff, the trimmed greaves could be really good to transog. That's just... And you see we're just chewing through that mana bar. We need mana flask upgrades. There we are. We're going to go ahead and take our sisters event now. And then we take the boss. Strength here, strength there. We're going for the repeating node. So we have enough strength to equip everything that we need. We just need 2 levels. We're 25.5. We would like to be a level ahead walking to Dreadnoughts. So we're a level behind. We're just the 1 Dreadnought. So we're going to do Jamanra 26, which is honestly kind of a travesty. That's really, really bad. Thank God we're stopping. Because if we weren't stopping, we would be Omega boned in Act 3. Like, Omega boned. I skipped way too much stuff. I did not take nowhere near the XP that I should have taken. Alright, so that guy's dead. Still Exalted. Still no Regals. No Regals is... What's a good XP range? -5. -5, sir. It's 2 levels plus 16 of your character levels is each range. So we are 25, so it's -3, and we have 1 level the very... So -4 in this case only gives us a 10% XP penalty. Pulled my number out of my gem socket, sir. Where is Dreadnought? Hello, Dreadnought? Hello, Dreadnought? Use the desert to click on the Dreadnought. Donde está Dreadnought? Oh, there it is, top left. No, that's Runeseeker. Okay, there we go. We clicked Dreadnought already, I guess. Cool. So, there's nothing to be had from this vendor, so we're just gonna go to Dreadnought. We're gonna kill Jawan-Ra, and we're gonna put this stuff to bed because, boys, am I tired. We were on a good pace, and then I just fell off a cliff between the deaths and just like, I don't know if you could tell, but I am tired. Speedrunning while it's late is really hard, and this zone is like the final test of sanity. Plus, this zone is just like maximum threat level. Lesser Essence of Ice. Yeah, that doesn't help us, sir. Unfortunately, this late into Act 2, a Lesser Elemental Essence is just bait. The way that essences are balanced in campaign is really poor. So, like, if I was continuing to Act 3, once I get through this, I would reset at the checkpoint and clear the zone again. Just to make sure that I at least, like, get into level 27 and a half, closer to 28. Since we're stopping, I'm perfectly comfortable killing Jamun-Ra on 26 or even 25. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. It's the fact that the post Jamun-Ra zones are gonna suffer a ridiculous XP penalty. Like a -5, we're taking a 40% XP penalty right now. On -4, we would only take 10, and that's more reasonable. But since we are gonna be done, I could just skip all this shit. Assuming I don't get myself murdered here. There we go. They just combine two zones into one. What is the point of combining two zones into one if you don't cut the length of them? Like, instead of two shorter zones, it's just one long zone. I don't feel like this is any different between what they used to be. But once we hit 27, see, if we are an XP curve, this would actually be a lot easier because we're already carrying Omega armor pieces here. And armor makes all the difference in the world in these tight little corridors. And the reason we want to be at least 27 is because we can click this node right here, and that's just 15% more damage. Okay, we can't click these, but we can click those. I'm pretty sure I've griefed myself with the mana flask. I am pretty sure I'm gonna have mana issues in the second phase. Maybe a Rend will save us. And ideally we want to skip this phase, which is why we're going for the 15% more damage, because if the grenades double activate with a good crossbow, yeah, you could do that too. Like, you could just stand there and just die. That's an option. Understandable and real on the being tired front. Yeah. Alright, so we have a real mana flask now. I don't like that it's got mana from life. I don't like that that one's got life from mana. So we're actually gonna have a better life flask. So we were getting double griefed because our life recovery was getting taken from mana, and mana is the resource we don't want to waste here. Yeah, so don't be me and stand too far off to the side. Absolutely carried by Rend there. Sir, you are dead, sir. Can you stop with the whole freaking thing? There we go. All right. Home stretch, boys. Home stretch. That is incredibly annoying to dodge because he tracks on both of them. Like, he omega tracks on both of them. And so a lot of times that's part of the reason why we're stacking like lightning resistance and armor. Otherwise, you just eat shit when he hits you with one of those. This might be a fire hit. I don't even know. But he should be dead in this round of grenades. And we got to refresh Rend because we did it pretty instantly. Goodbye, Jaman-Ra. So like 151 in Act 2 is not great considering we were 45 minutes in Act 1, but it's also not horrible. 1 hour is like, eh. For being tired and having rust on Act 2, it's livable. So that is us, chat. That's our run. I don't think we sold anything because we would have seen it on the speedrun timer. Yeah, we didn't sell shit. So yes sir, yes sir. It's late as fuck. You guys have any questions before I head out for the night? Any final thoughts? Any ideas? Anything you want to talk to me about before we call it? Keep in mind, the videos that I have, they are for 0.4, but they're still relevant. There's like 3 zones are different slightly. So if you need detailed tips on what to do and where to go and where to pick up stuff, those are still relevant. All right, lads. Looks like we're all sleepy kittens, so it's gonna be time to go. Appreciate you guys being here for the stream. This is probably gonna be the last PoE 2 stream for a while. We will probably pick it up with some PoE 1 stuff prep. I might do some more streams for PoE 2. Maybe. We'll see. But PoE 1 releases at the end of the week, Friday. I have a job interview tomorrow, or rather today. It's about in 8 hours or so. So, we'll see how all that shakes out. But I hope not to be unemployed by Friday, but we'll see. So, how accurate is the whole follow the world map thing for exits now, though? In some maps, vary, but in some zones, not at all. So, I would assume that it's right until you're proven wrong, and then throw your hands up and scream, and then just hug a wall. I would assume it's correct more often than it's not correct. But you know how that goes. All right, lads. If you're not already in Discord, you should join Discord because that's where most of the communication happens. Appreciate all of you guys. It's been awesome. Peace out, lads.